Hi everybody, it's Anne here from Positively Papercraft, and I'm back with another tutorial today. Now, I have no clue if this has been done before. It was just something that I kind of thought up. Now I'm going to show you a few examples that I've made here. Now the thing is, these are going to be it's going to be made differently to the ones I'm showing you here. It's going to look the same, but it's going to be made differently. And that's because I made them, recorded the video, and then when I was looking at the photographs of them, I thought, hang on a minute, there's a much easier way to make this. So we're going to make it the easier way that I've discovered. But yeah, I've made a couple of examples. They are beautiful, and I think it would be a great Mother's Day card actually. So I've got a couple of pieces of cardstock. I'll have all the sizes on my blog, so don't worry about that. And I'm just scoring them, showing you where I'm scoring them. As I said, the measurements will be on my blog. So we have two pieces of cardstock, as you can see there. Now this piece I've got here is going to be the front of the card. So I've chose a couple of dies here. You can use any shape, and I'm cutting the smaller one I've chosen out first. The gold little frame piece that you can see to the right of the screen, I completely forgot to use that. So if you wonder why I've cut that out, you can see it there, the gold piece of frame. I forgot to use it, so that was a complete waste of time. So I've got some acetate here. Now I only had heat resistant left. So I had to use heat resistant. Personally, I would go for maybe a thicker style of acetate, the non-heat resistant, but it's entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just measuring a piece of acetate that I need for my sort of middle layer, the bit that we're going to sort of decorate, and that's going to end up getting glued on to there. We need another piece of acetate to make a window. So here I'm just sort of roughly guesstimating how big it needs to be. But as I said, you could use ovals, circles, whatever you want to use for your sort of cutout. So I've got a piece of pattern paper that I'm going to have on the inside of my card. Again, you can have whatever you want on the inside of your card. So I've chose a sort of metallic gilded, I can't think what you call it, piece of card here. And I'm just sticking that down onto the card. So the piece of acetate needs to go on that little flap there, that little score piece there, and I'm just using double-sided tape. We also need a piece of tape on our front piece of card there. So I'm peeling the backing off, and I'm going to attach my piece of acetate onto that, and that is what I'm going to have my flowers on, or you can choose to decorate them however you want them. And I'm just burnishing it down. And then I'm putting another piece of tape again over it, so that when we join our two pieces of card together, you know, it'll be able to stick together. And then for the piece of acetate to cover the aperture that I've cut out, I'm just using a bit of glue to just glue that down. And as I said, I only had heat resistant, but it isn't as thick as regular acetate. And I'm showing you there how it's going to go together. Now I've chose these beautiful flowers. It's an ALTENEW stamp set. If I can link it, I will. I've had it for a while, never used it. I don't know why, because it's absolutely beautiful. So I've just fussy cut them out because it didn't come with any dies. Pretty simple to do. That's an old Stampin' Up set that I'm choosing for the sentiments that I'm going to use. Because it's heat resistant acetate, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on it and heat emboss it. You know, I thought it would be a bit of a waste not to do something with it, considering it was heat resistant. So I'm just using some Versamark, stamping it onto my front of the card, and then I'm going to put some gold embossing powder on. Now, I should have done that before I glued the acetate in, because it warped my card. The heat gun warped it. I didn't think about that actually, so you'll probably notice in the picture it's a little bit warped. But again, I should have heat embossed it before I glued it into the card, but never mind. So I'm just heat setting that there now. I think it says, I hope you're feeling special. So I'm starting to glue some flowers and leaves onto the front of the card. Again, you use whatever you've got. You could make a little scene. I think these would be great for Christmas cards because you could have like a triple scene. And then I'm just kind of getting the idea of the placement there. And then the second layer, which is the acetate layer, I'm going to fill this with some of those beautiful flowers that I stamped and fussy cut. Again, you can use whatever you have. You could make it a little village scene or just butterflies or flowers, whatever you want to have. And I'm just gluing them on to the acetate. Make sure they don't hang over the edge of your acetate, which is a mistake I make. And then I have to move them because it stops the card from sort of standing up correctly. And then your third layer, you can put whatever you want on the back panel. I've just put a few flowers in the corner there. And then just burnish that down. And then I'm going to peel the backing off the tape. And this is where I'm going to attach the front layer. Peel the backing off there as well. And just glue them both, sort of stick them both together. Just get them lined up really well. And then give it a sort of, a good burnish down. And that's what I mean about a sort of reverse easel. I've made one of these cards before where you open it up and you'll have like balloons or flowers popping up on sort of individual strips of acetate. So I've reversed it and they're going to hang down rather than pop up. As you can see here, I've glued two of the flowers too far down past the acetate, so I have to just move them. So just be wary of that. Then I've got the other part of the sentiment, which is because the first part said, I hope you're feeling special. This bit is because that's what you are. So I've just decided to use Versamark on some black card and then put some white embossing powder on and then heat set that with my heat tool. Okay, so that's done, and then I'm just gonna cut it out now. And then I'm just gonna pop it up on some foam pads. And just sort of deciding where I want that on the card, and then just make sure you give everything a good burnish down. I burnished the bottom a bit more as well because it wasn't really standing properly, but you can see there where it warps a little bit on the front because of the heat embossing. And then I've got these lovely little bee charms, insect charms. I thought it would be nice to pop them on some of the flowers. I do have these on my website. They do sell out pretty quick, so I think I've got some on now, but I always get them in anyway. And there you go. Isn't that just beautiful? That would make a beautiful Mother's Day card. But of course, for any occasion, doesn't just have to be for Mother's Day. Really simple to do, and it just looks so effective. So I'm just bringing the other ones in that I'd made, just to give you some other ideas. But yeah, this has turned out so nice. As I said, the measurements will be on my blog. The link will be under the video. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm just showing you some pictures here now. And I'll be back again on Sunday. So thanks for watching. Take care and bye for now.